Hey everybody, Brianna here with another edition of our Insider Perspective series. Today we are adding the voice of Keisha Manning. Keisha has a background in critical care nursing and also as a marketing strategist. And recently, her newest project is combining those talents to form Nurses BNB, a healthcare housing company, which we're going to learn all about in our conversation here. Welcome, Keisha. Thank you so much for doing this with us.
Thank you, Brianna. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Tell us how you got your start in nursing. What led you into this career?
That's an interesting question. Um, to begin, in my dreams, I never saw myself being a nurse.
No
When I was
kidding.
a child, I wanted to be in mass communications.
Ah,
But yes, but because I used to read like 5 to 7 books per week.
oh,
I
wow.
want, yes, I wanted to be in mass communication so badly. And, but I was always taking care of my sister because she was sick. You remember the
Uh,
story I told you before?
uh,
She was asthmatic, and when my mother goes to work
you
from
were,
Wednesday to Saturdays,
yeah.
I had to take care of her because I was the one that was always operating. So the responsibility
Ah,
automatically fell on me. So after working in finance for a little while, I decided that I was going into nursing, and
mm,
I got 2 scholarships to go overseas to study. But my mom was, she was sad because both of us lived together at the time.
yeah.
So I did not take the scholarship. I studied back home in Jamaica
Hmm.
and became a nurse. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
In 2000, in the early 2000s,
Mm,
and I started nursing, and then my mom became ill and
mm,
I stopped. I did the first year and then I stopped and went to work and to take care of my mom.
mm,
And when she got better, I went back. But when I went back, it was a degree program. Initially, it was a diploma. When I
hmm.
went back, it was a degree. So
Oh,
instead of I starting in the second year, I had to start from the first year again.
hmm.
And
Wow.
after completing that 3 years, it was a 3 year bachelor program. After I started working, and then 1 year after that, I became a critical care nurse.
Hmm.
And then a little bit after that, I migrated to the US as an international travel nurse. So
Hmm.
that's how I really got started.
Yeah.
Um, and right now, that has led me to, open my eyes to a lot of things, a lot of
Right.
problems that were there. And that's
Yeah.
how I went transition to Nurses BNB.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like you have a curious mind from all the reading that you do
Yes,
for fun
yes,
and for your
yes,
own
of
knowledge
that
base.
then.
And I think that's such a natural inclination of nurses anyway. We're natural problem solvers. So I
Yes,
can see hearing your story how it led you down the path of being an entrepreneur. Can you tell
exactly.
us a little bit about, did you have any inspiration for the particular company that you founded at? We're going to get more into it specifically, but was there anything that happened or that you saw that really led you down that road?
I always knew that nursing was short, right? And I am very passionate about health, and I'm very passionate about people.
Hmm.
And when I saw what happened to my colleague when we were working, and he just couldn't find anywhere to stay that night, and
Yeah.
he ended up sleeping in his car,
Oh,
that was what I was upset. Initially
yeah.
I was upset because I'm like, you're a nurse, I'm a nurse, and I'm like, we bust our ass
Yes.
all the time.
Yeah.
We go above and beyond
Right.
for people all the time,
Yeah.
and to know that they could not just adjust their check-in time, because I was helping him to call hotels and all of these places,
Right.
just adjust their check-in time to like 10 o'clock
Yeah.
for him to check in because he's leaving work like 7:30, 8 a.m.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, you need, it was so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And it was after 3 months that the idea actually came to me because,
Yeah.
and when I look back, I say to myself, it must have been just resting in my spirit,
Yeah.
and it just popped out into a solution.
Right.
And I just ran with it, so to speak. It was
Yeah.
immediately when I got it, I knew that I had to do something when I got the inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
But when I told my husband, and he was like, "Yes, that's the one." I was
Yeah.
like, he was not gonna let me off the hook, and I could not let
Oh,
myself off the hook. So
yeah.
I just had to do it.
He knew you had a good idea.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I just had to do it.
Yeah.
And
That's amazing. So tell us specifically, we've kind of danced around it. What
yes,
exactly, we've mentioned it's a housing company. What role does Nurses BNB provide?
so Nurses BNB is my baby. I have a 5 month old, and Nurses BNB is my other baby.
Yep.
It's a healthcare housing platform, and it's a healthcare housing platform, and we focus on improving staffing throughout the USA and Canada.
Mm.
But we also focus on staffing in rural areas that
Hmm.
everybody has forgotten, you
Right.
know. And we are for the traveling healthcare professional who wants to avoid the hassle of vetting homeowners. We
Yes.
are doing
Right.
all the vetting for them.
Yep.
And for the homeowner who wants to have responsible
Yep.
professionals that are booking, we also provide that vetting for them
Hmm.
so that everybody feels safe within the community.
Right.
We also have RV parking sites on our platform.
Ah,
So, because our nurses have been saying to us, we can't find anywhere to park our RVs.
yeah.
When we couldn't find houses, and we went and bought RVs, and now we
Right.
cannot find anywhere to park RVs. So that
Right.
it's a whole package on the platform
Yeah.
that we do. We solve the problem like 360. And
Yeah.
I just want to touch on not myself, but just nurses in general. When it comes on to problems in healthcare,
Hmm.
there's nobody else that understands it better than a
Yeah.
nurse.
Yes, I
And
agree.
when I went and I told some nurses about Nurses BNB, it was like a no-brainer. They say, I want a piece of this, I
Right.
want to invest.
Yeah.
So right on the spot, they invested
Wow.
back in 2020. And people have been asking, and we have decided that we're going to open up back there just to give people on the ground a little benefit of being in there. We said that we're going to
Hmm.
open it up back soon.
Yeah.
But I want to touch on the fact that we understand the problems of healthcare, and we
Right.
should not be intimidated to step out and solve them,
Yes.
because we have come to realize that the persons that are up in the hierarchy, they are doing what they think is the solution.
Right.
But
Right.
that's not it's
Yeah.
hypothetical, but we are really the realist in this situation.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we need to step out there and help to solve some of these problems, because guess what? Just like how our DNA is different, so our minds work differently. And
Yeah.
you can solve a problem that there's nobody else
Right.
is gonna see it in that
Yeah.
way to solve it. So don't sit and say, "Oh, somebody else." No, that's not how it
Right.
works. Everybody has their perspective, and sometimes you just get this light bulb, and that's the solution, the
Yeah.
ideal solution to the problem.
Yeah. I love that you mentioned that because I think that's a common frustration with nurses is that the people making decisions that will affect our day-to-day
I
lives
know.
working are not medical or nursing,
Exactly.
educated, and so they just can't understand what it's like,
They
and
will
the
never.
questions and the needs that we have, and I think you explained that beautifully, and how that wove into your business plan. I think that's so smart. And I'm not surprised
Mhm.
it's attracting attention from nurses that are like, yes, this is what we're missing is nurse-led ideas like this and innovation like this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So smart. So you mentioned it works both ways. Kind of, I'm assuming like the Airbnb, Nurses BNB. So
Mm-hmm,
the host, you
mm-hmm.
can be a host, you can be a renter. Um, how does the booking process go? Like if you're a traveler and you're know that you're going to be in an area for a certain amount of time, they just go to your site and they can look up availabilities, or how does it work?
So on our site, they can look up availabilities and they can search by the hospital that they're going to go,
Ah, yeah.
or they can search by the city and state.
Okay.
And then they will see the houses or the RV parking sites that are close to that
Yep.
location, and everything takes place on the platform. There's nothing for them to go offline to send
Yeah.
their money to anybody,
Yes. Right.
or you know, it's a fast 1, 2, 3 process.
Right.
Just
Right.
simplify everything ABC and
Yep.
get it done. You
Yep.
know how we do it in ICU.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, get it
Yep.
done.
Right.
You know.
Exactly. Moving
So
on. Yeah.
right, so that's just it. You go on the platform, you don't have to go anywhere else to do any part of the
Right.
transaction. You stay right there.
Right. I bet
You stay right there.
in your business practices and developing the idea, you probably learn about, the human psychology of our attention spans. And if a person has to click
Exactly.
more than like 5 times, they're out of there.
Exactly. So, and that's the conversation I have with my developers all the time, because as I am the CEO, but at the same time, I put myself in the shoes of, as we always say, I'm a
Mhm.
6 year old. I know nothing. When
Right.
I come, I need to be able to see that, hey, this is a step that I should take. One, this is a
Right.
step I should take. Two.
Yep.
So I try to get that across to them from a layman's perspective
Right.
and not from a technical developer perspective. Just
Yeah.
make it simple, and so that
Right.
the kids can understand, and then you'll
Right.
be fine.
Yep. Yep. That's such an important aspect of it. And it's such a timely idea, not just because of the nursing staffing crisis that is, you mentioned, in rural areas particularly bad, but also the housing market crisis right now. I mean, I see
Exactly.
posts all the time from nurses being like, I can't afford $5,000 a month for a studio apartment, or I'm
Yeah,
going to be commuting in hours to get into this hospital in a city. So
exactly.
it's such a needed link between the two right now. We need nurses, but
Yeah,
we need to be able to house them, um, and have them be able to afford it, so that help
exactly.
us. Um,
And one of the things that we focus on is the proximity to hospital,
yeah,
because most travelers, they get the night shift, and you don't want somebody that have just worked 12 hours
yeah,
run a code.
yeah,
Sometimes
right,
you're so tired to be
yeah,
driving an hour.
right,
you know
right.
we don't
So
want
true.
that, and that's what I focus on, and that is what I try to convey when I'm
Yep.
speaking to people who come to me and say that they have houses. We
Hmm.
are focusing on proximity to hospital.
Yeah.
And another piece of the puzzle is that we as nurses, doctors, RTs, PTs, we need to understand that we're a part of the solution. As they say, if you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem.
Right. Yeah.
So we are a part of the solution. And what that means is that you live in this rural area, you're struggling for staffing, you know that your hospital or medical facility use travel nurses. List your property, list your 1 bedroom, your son gone off to college, take out his stuff and list it on the
Hmm.
platform. You are getting an income while at the same time you're helping
Right.
your community, and you're helping
Yes.
your unit, because maybe that person might just end up working on your unit.
Right. Yeah.
So that's how we plan to do it, and that's how I want healthcare professionals to see nurses
Yeah.
BNB. It's not like a foreign concept.
Right.
It's
Right.
for you, and you can take part to help in solving the healthcare
Yeah.
crisis using it.
Yeah. I love that drawing in because I think nurses want to be active community members, and that's a way to really have
Yes,
their, friends and family involved and to do more. I mean, we have a lot of repair work
exactly.
to do with the public and the trust of the health system at large. So
Oh
I
gosh,
think that that's it. Yeah, I love all the offshoots of this, just in like the social aspect of it. Um,
exactly.
what challenges have you run across? I mean, starting any new business, I can't even imagine the learning curve. How have you managed the challenges that you've encountered?
So I also have a master's in business administration. So some of the things I already knew,
Hmm.
but you're a nurse, I'm a nurse. You know that nursing school is different from hospital.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
So you learn all these things in about business, but then when you're supposed to apply it, you're like, oh my God, did
right,
they mean it to go like this, to go
right.
like that? So those are some of the problems. And like investor language, speaking to investors,
Hmm.
that is just something that I had to learn, and I'm still learning how to speak to them because they
Yeah,
reach out to me from time to time, and sometimes you're very investor language is a whole new word,
yeah, right. I bet.
and speaking developer language is a whole new word.
Yeah, just like medical jargon to people that have no
Exactly.
idea what we're talking about.
They are clueless. So
Yeah,
sometimes I am there and I'm like, you know what? I know so much languages. I know medical language. I know developer language.
yeah, right. You have to be fluent. Multi.
Right. So, but I have my CTO and he helps to translate it across to the
Yeah.
team so that they understand what
Hmm.
is necessary and what is required and the idea so that it comes across clearly on the
Yeah,
platform that we're building.
right.
So those are some of the challenges. One of the other challenge, and this is what I would tell everyone, when you give someone a work to do,
Hmm.
go back and check,
Yeah, right.
check, check, check. Because in the initial stage when I just started in 2021 and it was like freelance developers, I gave them and said a list. I want this, 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 this. And they
Hmm.
came back and said, done. I said, okay.
Hmm.
And
Wow.
then 2 months down the road, I'm like, oh, shoot, that was not done. How
Right.
does it work? It doesn't even work. And
Yeah.
I'm scrambling to find them, and you can't find them.
Yeah.
So when you're delegating, and this goes back to nursing,
Hmm.
when you delegate, you go and even if you don't understand anything, you know how you don't need to understand what they put in. You
Hmm.
want to see what you get out
Right.
because this is what you want to happen when this happens. So go back through all the steps with that person who you gave the job and check everything. So
Yeah.
that's one of the things that you have to do. You have to find time to do it and don't back down from it. You're spending your money. And
Right.
at the end of the day, you want to know that as a
Yeah.
business owner, you're getting your money's worth.
Right. Right. Almost like work that into your systems and processing so you just automatically
Exactly.
go back and do it. Yeah, that's smart. Um, I know, especially when you're going into new fields that maybe you don't have, like you said, the new language and all that stuff. It's so important to work it in so that you're double checking not just them but yourself
Yes.
too. Um,
Yes.
nurses that are looking into getting into something beyond the bedside or entrepreneurial work, do you have any advice of where to start for them? Anybody that's interested in going down the same road?
My advice would be one, you have to be passionate about what you're about to do.
Hmm.
Because when problems blindside you,
Yeah.
you will give up. You
Yeah.
have to be passionate. You have to love it because in the early days of Nurses BNB, I'm telling you, I'm sitting at this desk now I've sat here for literally 72 hours.
Yeah.
Bathroom breaks and food. I mean,
Wow.
looking at the screen like 24 hours straight.
Yes. Wow.
Because that was when I was having a problem with the developers. I decided that I was not getting off until I fix it. Sometimes my husband would get up in the morning and he would say, "Did he sleep?" And I'm like, "No,"
Yeah.
looking at the screen.
Yeah.
So you have to have that passion, that
Yeah.
love, and that determination.
Yes.
And you don't have to look far to find problems to solve. There are
Mm-hmm.
so many things in our world that doesn't work well. You just
Mm-hmm.
need to come up with a better version.
Right.
As they
Exactly.
say, don't invent the wheel.
Right.
You don't really need to invent the wheel. There are
Yes.
so many things that don't work properly.
Right. Yep.
I saw this company, they developed a syringe. I don't remember the name of the company, but it was a particular syringe that how it works. You don't have to take out the bulb and go through all of the. And
Yep.
syringes are around. He just found a better way to do it. That he's an
Right.
emergency room nurse, and he
Yes.
found a better way to do it.
Yep.
So there are problems that you see, and sometimes it's a simple problems
Yes. Yep.
that really take off.
Yep.
You
I
know, it
love it.
doesn't have to be big and go into space and
Right.
rocket shape. It doesn't have to be that.
Yes.
Just make things better, make people lives easier.
Right. Yeah.
Once
I
you
think
can solve that, that's it.
that's such smart advice because I think sometimes when we look at a giant problem like staffing shortages that the whole country is experiencing or housing crisis and wild prices for rent or booking a room for a short term, we think they need big solutions, but often they
Yeah,
just need smaller innovative tweaks to systems that are already in place that just need to be working better.
yeah.
I love that there's smart, curious people like you out there that are putting
Thank
people
you.
together in the same room to come up with solutions for these. It's awesome to see it. I love talking to nurse entrepreneurs because so many nurses already have the mind for it. And like
Yeah,
you were saying, we know what it's like to push through 12 hours, and sometimes
exactly.
it's going to be in your own house at your own computer solving these little glitchy things, and you have the dedication inside of you. If you've worked 12 hours at a hospital, you can work 12 hours for yourself at home. um,
Absolutely.
it's great. You're a great example for that. I love the idea for your company. What messages we like to always leave off for, we have nurses from all walks of life, nursing students up through graduate level degreed nurses. Do you have any messages for nurses right now that you'd like to leave them with, what it means to be working as a nurse right now in 2022?
Um, my advice, and this will always be my advice to nurses, we need to look out for each other more. We need to look out for each other more,
Yeah.
right? There is no need for the infightings, travelers versus staff nurse,
Yeah.
all the schemes and all of those. It's not going to put us anywhere.
Right.
A
Yeah.
house divided by itself cannot stand.
Yes.
And as healthcare professionals, we need to realize that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if someone is just coming there for 8 weeks.
Right.
It doesn't matter if someone is a new recruit.
Mm-hmm.
Just treat them with respect. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if someone they are from India, they are from Jamaica, they are from Cambodia,
Right.
they are from Philippines, it's from Jamaica. It doesn't matter.
Right.
All of us have gone through the same training.
Yeah.
And if someone comes there new, it's for you to teach them how things go
Mm-hmm.
where you are.
Yeah.
They're not looking to learn everything about nursing, just how things go where you are.
Right.
So be nice to them and help them to fit in, to
Yeah.
get started. And, if we treat each other well, people won't want to leave.
Right.
Sometimes the problem is with us and sometimes it's with management,
Mm-hmm.
right? We can't solve management problem,
Right.
but we can solve our own. by
Yeah.
treating each other nicely.
Yeah. Such a
You
good
know,
point.
and that will always be my advice. And sometimes I feel like we should run a campaign. Like, you see how they run the campaign for kids to stop the bullying. I
Yeah.
think they need to run one for nursing.
Yeah.
We need to realize that we are just one body.
Yes. Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
One body, and all the ism and schism, it's not going to put us forward. And the thing is, at the end of the day, it's going to fall back on you, and you're going to complain about the shortage, and
Yeah.
when you get new people in your hospital,
Right.
treat them nicely.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good advice. And people are
That's
paying
what I
attention.
say.
If you're someone that wants to advance in your career, people pay attention to how you treat everybody, not just your relationship with them. So I
Yeah.
always remember the nurses that were like such team players and really were the ones that like you walk on the floor, you see that they're working on your shift and you're like, oh, thank God.
Yes, you're happy.
It's going to be okay. She's here
Yes,
or he's here.
yes, yes. I know that feeling.
Yeah. Yep.
I know that feeling.
Yep.
So that's it. We can do it. We are short, but when you have a team that works together,
Hmm.
it just makes the burden a little bit
Yeah.
lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And makes our jobs more enjoyable. Hopefully
Yes,
we'll get
make it
back to
good.
that place.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
it
Awesome.
treating people nicely have never hurt anyone.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
You
Well,
know.
Keisha, thank you so much for giving us your time.